This is a short video to test the quality of the Panasonic HCV10, as well as some test shots showing visual proof of how you can predict short and persistent contrails using the National Weather Service's Aviation Water Vapor National Loop, and also to show that these airplanes are in fact commercial passenger aircraft. This is the National Weather Service's Water Vapor Imagery Loop for January 7th, 2013, which as you can see shows an area of high pressure dominating our location around Nashville, Tennessee. Obviously, we should see very few, if any, contrails today. On days like this, I've heard people say that the planes, or what many call chemtrail planes, are not out today. Actually, they are, as usual. It is just that there is not enough moisture aloft to produce contrails, which makes it very difficult to spot the planes without the large trail. This is further impeded by what is called empty field myopia. This occurs with your eyes when looking at an open or mostly empty field of vision, and your eyes will only focus a few feet in front of you, basically short-sightedness. There is also the effect of saccadic masking, which is your eyes being unable to focus while they are moving. Pilots must deal with both of these issues all the time. Often, it is also extremely difficult to distinguish colors at these great distances, and planes that are mostly white will seem all white in these conditions. With the assistance of a careful eye and a good zoom lens, we can improve or overcome most of these, but it can still be very difficult even then. This is the water vapor loop for January 8th, 2013, the very next day, and it shows moisture coming in over our area ahead of a much larger mass of moisture below coming in from the Gulf. We can expect to start seeing contrails today. As expected, today we can see some cirrus clouds, high-level cirrus clouds, and the planes are beginning to leave short contrails, which is normal. There's not quite enough moisture for them to completely stick yet. Earlier today, I did notice early this morning that there were a few that stuck. I didn't get out and film them. That's common early in the morning as moisture leaves the surface of the earth and rises. But at this moment, we see the cirrus clouds, which is normal with the moisture moving in ahead of the front, and we are starting to get some short contrails. And of course, you can also see it's much easier to spot them in the sky because we can see the trail, and therefore it makes it much easier for us to catch the planes. And this is, of course, a Southwest Airlines plane, leaving short contrail, and we will take a look at a few more. And we have another Southwest Airlines. And we have a U.S. Airways below 10,000 feet coming into Nashville, just maneuvering around for his landing. And we have a Delta flight. And we have another Delta flight. Also, you might notice that the cloud cover is getting a bit thicker. Started to be able to see that moisture ahead of that front and that storm system that was getting ready to come in this afternoon to an evening to cause some rain overnight and the next couple of days, it sounds like. But anyhow, you can see that there's much more cloud cover and moisture moving in, making it a bit more difficult to catch the planes as the afternoon went on. And yes, that is a bird. Can't see the planes through the clouds, so just decided to tape whatever I could get hold of. Little clearing came up, and I did catch another Delta flight. However, throughout the afternoon and evening, the clouds into night became very thicker, and the rain, of course, moved in later on that evening. And over the next couple of days, nothing but pure clouds, pure rain, with rain or flood watches and warnings and so on. So into the evening of the 8th through the 9th, 10th, and the early part of the 11th, pretty much had nothing but rain, pure clouds, couldn't see anything, just horrible, rainy, nasty weather. And finally, in the afternoon of the 11th, we started to get some clearing, which was good because it was clearing out. Obviously, going to be a little bit better weather coming, but it also had left a lot of moisture still up aloft, which we were able to then go out and record some persistent contrails, because again, there was enough moisture aloft at that time for them to be made and for them to stick. And here we have another Southwest airline, which is very common in this area, flying over at cruise altitude and leaving a nice, long, persistent contrail. And throughout the afternoon, taped a number of commercial air jets as they flew over, and we're just going to be seeing examples of those flying at altitude, cruise altitude, and leaving persistent contrails, and showing you a little bit of that. As the conditions warranted, they were able to persist and stay in the air, as you can see. And I was able to witness and observe the contrails persisting and lasting until they just literally moved away from me, until I couldn't see them any further, mixing in with the other clouds. Does look like this camera is going to work quite well with showing examples for the documentary later on. These are just test shots that we've been doing, or I've been doing today and over the last few days, just to kind of show myself and figure out what we can do with it, so on. So it seems to be working pretty good. We can definitely identify that these are commercial aircraft, and they are leaving these persistent contrails. Here's that real common flight path that I see constantly. Normally, 5-10 minutes behind one another. They sort of curve, heading north to south on that one same direction and same path. And of course, it creates these grids and occasionally X's as they cross other paths and so on. So very common, and that's just how it works. And the wind blows them off to one direction, and you end up with these persistent contrails that turn into little cirrus type clouds. And I'm just going to probably just let the live audio go out throughout the rest of the video.
If I can zoom in on them good enough. You can see, again, this is a commercial aircraft. Clearly commercial aircraft. Look at the lens too much. That's the other one. And then, as you can see, they're lining up. That's one previous to that. There's one. And then this one that just got laid. And then, well, here's another one. Looks like right now. And he's going to go right behind it. See, they're all generally coming from the same direction. This is a real common north to south flight path over through here. It's almost right over my house. And they come through here. And they are leaving persistent contrails today because the weather and conditions aloft are good for it. And that's why. They're not spraying anything or anything else. These are just commercial aircraft taking passengers from one locale to the next, because that's what they do. Leaving a nice trail. You can clearly see it's a commercial aircraft. Regular commercial aircraft.
As a note, this does seem to be also a Delta Airlines from the side. I normally track these, but today I was just testing the camera, so no tracking, but that looks like a Delta.
And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and zoom out now. See, he's way up there and leaving a nice contrail. Look at this guy. There's these other ones that were laid down. And you can see it's been a good 15 minutes or so probably. These are those other ones, and they're thinned out now, and they're moving off this direction. And the wind's just blowing them. And they get made, and then they move, and you end up with these planes are rolling on through here. Commercial aircraft leaving persistent contrails, not chemtrails. Straight up, hard to see. Lost him. Shot here. These are just these persistent contrails that have been lingering for a while, and again they're moving on in that direction, moving out. The wind's catching them, spreading them out, and they're lingering. Persistent contrails. Quite a number of them.
And thank you for watching, and see you next time.